Oh God, I'm not prepared for this question because I may tell the truth.
I would love to know what drew you to this project in particular.
Well, I was very excited about playing a former actress who lives in Hollywood and is married to a big Hollywood agent who's melting down about her life and her lack of work and living in a patriarchy and just what it's like to be an aging actress in Hollywood is something I'm experiencing personally, and so I thought that would be fun to sort of look into.
Yes, are there a lot of parallels with your career and your character?
In the sense that she's disenchanted and sort of heartbroken around her inability to work in the way that she did when she was younger, I would say yes.
What inspired this story in particular, and did you have the past in mind when writing?
I had Lois Smith, who plays the elderly woman. I wrote the story with a picture of her on my desk, and she was pretty much the only one in the cast that I didn't know. So personally, so it was a real leap of faith, and she said yes. So I wrote it because one night in real life, while my husband and I were getting ready for a party, an elderly lady showed up at our house and thought she had returned home. And so the whole story of The Uninvited is about the arrival of this woman at a very inconvenient moment in their life. And she, the main character, played by Elizabeth, has to figure out where this person belongs and who she belongs to. So it becomes a whole story about belonging. And where are you invited, And, and it's very much about what I was writing at the time, which is the struggle as a woman between your motherhood and your career.
So, yeah. And what are the challenges? I know this is a comedy drama. What are the challenges of writing a comedy?
Well, it came out as a comedy because these people are ridiculous, and so it was sort of like I couldn't take them seriously because it's like a storm in a teacup. They have so much privilege and so much economic security, and they're so vain and superficial, and they just want more of everything. It's never enough. So that is innately comedic because it's absurd, and their problems are so minor by comparison, which is why when an old woman who shows up who's literally dying and doesn't know where she lives, and they can't find anyone that knows who this person is, creates this total existential crisis, of what really matters.
I have to know, what was the most challenging part of directing your husband?
Oh my God. Oh God, I'm not prepared for this question because I may tell the truth. So no, I'm just kidding. No, he was actually incredibly supportive, honestly, leading up to the film. I mean, we've been together almost 20 years. So he's read everything that I've written in the last 20 years. He's read every version of the script when it was a play, and then it was a film. And then suddenly when he realized he was the one who's going to be playing this character, all of a sudden he had notes. And I was like, wait a minute, you've loved this role and you've loved this movie, this whole time. And all of a sudden, because I didn't write it thinking he'd play it.
Really?
No, not at all. So, interestingly, once we got into this process, then I realized it was going to be him, and he had to make the distinction. He's like, I'm not this guy, because I wrote a husband and wife, and it's not a husband and wife, but all of a sudden a husband and wife are doing a story about a husband and wife. And so it became a fascinating way to distinguish ourselves as not that couple, but also own the things that are in that relationship that our couple actually engages in. So it became this meta therapy, and so to that end, some days were easy and some days were not easy.
You have to tell us, what was the most challenging aspect of being directed by your wife?
Listening. No, it's a very good question. The truth is, I worked with a number of first-time directors. Every actor has, if they've been around for a while.
Yeah.
And you try to bring your experience to this experience, and with some water under your bridge, you can anticipate problems. problems and see them before they happen, and you want to help your director kind of solve those problems before they happen. And but there's a line that you don't cross. Well, I didn't anticipate this, but there's a very different line when the director is your wife. And so I had to okay, but we got through it, and it was an incredible experience, and it brought us even closer together as possible.
She did say you had a lot of notes on your character.
A lot of notes, just in general. I love it, She's a very collaborative person.
Yeah, because you cared about the character.
Very much.
There we go. And you're in the new series Fallout, so I'd love to know, do you like having source material to work from for a video game, or do you kind of like ideate your own character?
Well, Fallout is predicated on one of the biggest, most important games in the history of gaming, right? And so I wasn't aware of the property, even though I'd heard about it. My son's game, our son's game. It's my wife. But once the offer kind of came and we started having these conversations, I decided that I didn't want to play the game because I think it's important to have someone at the table that isn't carrying the mantle or the responsibility of giving the fans what they want, and with a critical eye can look at these scripts and say, well, what is this really about? What are we saying? And that's how I felt like I contributed. I think I was able to contribute in that way. There were enough people there that knew exactly what we needed to capture in order for this to be authentic to the game, and we did. That's what Jonah did, and I'm so proud of it. I've seen like 4 episodes now, and it really is. It was an epic undertaking, and it is a visual buffet that I'm still kind of marveling at. I hope people take away what Jonah did.
Did your co-star Pedro help you at all? Because he was in The Last of Us, which is based on a video game.
He's one of my best friends, right? And he's in our movie. He's in the Uninvited. But no, I didn't want to ask anyone to do anything, right?
No bother.
No. He's busy.
Are you going to be in the Twilight series at all, the new TV show?
First of all, I didn't even know there was one. So I'm assuming that the answer is no then. Is there a TV show?
Yes, it's confirmed.
There's a Twilight TV show, not a cartoon.
I think it is a cartoon.
Is it a cartoon? I'm getting a nod. I'd love to be in a cartoon, literally any cartoon, where I could just wear sweatpants and go stand in a booth somewhere. Right. So that's a yes for me. But also, yes, I'm that franchise and those characters are, embedded in my DNA now.